So, as Kit said, I'm here to tell you my story about traveling with a chronic illness and finding a way to stay healthy on the road. Because when you're on the road, you lose the routine that you might have if you're living in a place for a long time where you can plan your meals and go to the gym and all that. So a little bit about me, why is health so important to me? When I was 13, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. And this is something that at the time people knew barely anything about. Now we know slightly more, so still not much. And basically what it was is this really intense, unexplained fatigue that didn't go away with rest, didn't go away with any medication, but they can't find anything physically wrong with you. So it's kind of a mystery. And so this was obviously very devastating to me. I'd been very active. I was on the swim team. I played every single sport. And all of a sudden, I could barely get out of bed. And I didn't know what this was going to mean for my life. I was in high school at the time, and it was all very stressful. And I kind of managed to stumble my way through the rest of high school, the first couple years of university, and then I had a major crash. And I couldn't walk the 5 minutes from my campus apartment to my class. So I realized something had to change. I was lucky enough to get referred to an environmental health clinic, and that's when I started to study yoga, meditation, mindfulness, nutrition, kind of everything. And within 2 years, I had made these amazing strides in my life that I hadn't thought would be possible for a really, really long time. Oh, oops, that was meant to be my first slide. So this is me just after those kind of 2 years recovering, and this is my first hike that I had ever done in my life. It's actually part of the Appalachian Trail in Newfoundland, and that's me making it to the top, very happy. And what this really symbolized for me was that this dream that I had kind of always had to travel and then had kind of thought wouldn't be able to happen because I was sick, that it could happen. So I started planning for this big round-the-world trip, and I was going to work and travel and volunteer and do all this great stuff. And I was planning on how to stay healthy on the road, because if I didn't stay healthy, I would be sick again and I couldn't do it. And so I had this vision in my head that I was going to be hiking all the time and walking, backpacking. Of course I'm going to be walking all the time and cycling and eating sushi and healthy food, and it was going to be all good. And then I began traveling by taking the train across Canada for 6 weeks, and my healthy travel ended up looking more like this. Oh. So for those of you who don't know, this is a Canadian delicacy called poutine, and it's French fries with cheese and gravy. And I ate a lot of poutine traveling across Canada. It was really, really good. It also looked like cheap, tasty booze and chocolate factory tours. And there were so many things, and I wanted to enjoy it and enjoy where I was. But I knew that I couldn't keep this up and keep traveling at the same time. So this is an ashram that I stayed at in India. And what I started to realize that for me, travel is mindfulness, and travel is being mindful. So even though when I was on the road, I wasn't practicing yoga and meditation as much as I had before, I wasn't being as careful about my eating as I was before, I was actually practicing mindfulness every day. Because I think you can probably all relate, when you get in a new city, you're not sitting on your phone, checking your phone, or thinking about work, you're enjoying and you're exploring. And I know when I'm traveling, I rarely sit and eat in front of the TV, for example. I really enjoy the food and enjoy the tastes of it. And this is all mindfulness. And what they found is people who eat mindfully just naturally eat less without trying, because you're actually paying attention to what you're eating and enjoying each flavor as it comes. So I started to realize that travel is mindfulness, and that travel can actually be a way to be healthy but still enjoy eating some tasty foods, maybe just not poutine every day. And I think travel is also a great way to learn from other cultures. I know, coming from Canada, growing up in this Western medical system that didn't have a cure for chronic fatigue, I was really interested in learning about other cultures, because I think some other cultures are naturally much healthier than we are in North America or in the Western world. So for example, drinking tea in Turkey, I think it's a very North American Western thing to take your tea and coffee to go as you're rushing around. You don't sit and enjoy tea and talk to your friends and just eating naturally healthy food. I remember I was couch surfing in Japan and I asked my host, what is comfort food here in Japan? And she said, oh, soba noodles, like buckwheat noodles. And I'm thinking of my poutine and my burgers and fries as comfort food. So I think that there is a lot that we can learn from different cultures as we're traveling. That might help make you healthier or think about health in a different way. And then I think that there's also a lot of opportunities for adventure and for active things. So there I am drinking, well, that's not me, but I took the photo of people drinking from the waters of life at a Buddhist temple in Japan. That's a bike tour I did in Japan on that old rickety bike, 100 kilometers, and just at the end I fell off the bike just going up onto the sidewalk. It was very embarrassing. I learned how to garden, and it doesn't, if you don't like exercise, it doesn't need to be like that. So this is climbing the mountain that is Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's in New Zealand, so it was kind of a fun, nerdy thing. And you don't have to go to the gym, you don't even have to hike if you don't like hiking, but I think even going to escape rooms or to cooking classes have all been things that have helped me find more balance and take better care of my health while I'm traveling. So for me, it's been all about finding balance, and part of the reason that I wanted to work from home, before I even knew the word digital nomad, is that I knew that for my health, I wasn't going to thrive in an office environment. So before I even knew what digital nomad was, I knew that I wanted to have my own business and work from home. And I ended up becoming a yoga teacher because I thought that will help me stay accountable, and it has helped me stay accountable, that I do have to do my yoga practice and I do have to take care of myself every day, or else I'm not going to be helpful for the people that I am working with. This is me getting ready to film one of my yoga videos. So I think, as digital nomads, and everyone in this room is very ambitious and has a lot of dreams, whether that's traveling or with your business or whatever it is. And I know for me, I'm not going to be able to achieve those dreams if I don't stay healthy and take care of my health. So yeah, for me, I enjoy the wine. I know we're in Barcelona and the wine is cheap. So you can enjoy a glass of wine without going overboard. And we talk about lifestyle design, and I think I've designed my life to be health style design. Living in a place like Barcelona where you have the sea and the mountains right here has all been so helpful to me. So for me now, it's been 6 years since I've been in recovery, and I'm still healthy and going strong, and I plan to keep it that way and continue traveling. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Kayla. You want to do Q&A?
Sure.
All right. So thank you so much, Kayla. I think that was such a good story, because we all talk about I should be healthy on the road, but a lot of us don't have to face the same challenges. Mm-hmm. So it's really, not to be cliche, but it can be kind of inspiring to, I can bitch and moan, but that you're, overcoming a lot of obstacles, and that's really affirming. Really nice.
Thank you.
So does anyone have any questions for Kayla about her story, about yoga? Yeah, we've got Sienna right here.
Okay, so I have a question. So when you are constantly on the road and in new places, I think something that a lot of people struggle with is finding daily habits or daily things that they do, because it's hard, because of course, like you were saying, you want to be in different places, you want to be trying to experience different things, but what advice would you have to kind of keep the daily habits that you need to stay healthy, balanced, mindful, even if you're in new places with schedules that you might not necessarily have control of?
Right. So one thing I definitely try to do is travel slowly. So even if I'm, not based in a place but traveling around, I don't like to be moving around every day. I like to, stay at least for a few days. And then I think just mentally preparing myself that I know, okay, for these 3 weeks I'm doing a tour, so it's going to be a bit more chaotic. And then I think the biggest piece of advice I could give is that even 2 minutes a day of your healthy habit can be helpful. So in yoga, they are starting to do more research on how yoga affects health. And they said that people who practice yoga for 10 minutes a day every day have more health benefits than people who practice yoga once a week or once every 2 weeks for an hour. So just keeping that consistency, even if it's literally 1 or 2 minutes of just sitting and taking 10 deep breaths can be helpful. And then, yeah, just the mental preparation of knowing, okay, this is for these few weeks, and then I'm going to stay somewhere for a few months. That way.
I have a question, because I think you were in the workshop on health and well-being, right? Yeah. So if, for those of you who weren't there, Mariana, who ran that workshop, and she's a doctor, nomad doctor. Hi. And she mentioned, that if you need to have a sip of Coke or to have indulgence, like, it's okay to sort of pass it on. But I know for you that might be a little more challenging, and it can be a slippery slope when you start letting things go a little. So how do you stay on track?
So I think it's funny that you said that, Mariana, because when I was really ill and no one knew what was wrong with me and what to do, one thing my doctor said to me was like, oh, just have a Coke every day at lunch then. And I know that's not what you're recommending. Yeah, I do think, though, if it is, an every now and then thing, it's okay. And I think that the emotional benefit of sometimes giving in to your craving can outweigh any of the negative physical things. But the slippery slope is definitely dangerous. So I find planning out my treats. So if I'm really craving something, I'll say, okay, on this day, because it's whatever special occasion or when I finish this thing, that'll be it, and that'll be it for me. I also find that setting goals for myself. So I say, okay, I'm only going to have fast food once a year or twice a year, and I know what dates or around what dates it's going to be. So then I know, okay, I'm 6 months and I'm just not going to. I think eliminating those little decisions. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm so bad at decisions. So if every time I have to decide, oh, is this the time I should eat poutine, or is this the time I should have the third glass of wine? That's really stressful and takes a lot of energy to be always making those little decisions. So to kind of set goals around health and then make all those decisions beforehand is really helpful for not then, because if you have to make the decision each time, it's really easy to just be like, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm sure you guys might have some more questions for Kayla, but we are about to get into our break. So thank you very much. Let's give her a big round of applause, everyone.